This is what's wacky to us. I'm Rick.
I'm Song.
Welcome.
We back once again. We have a topic for y'all today. Hopefully y'all like it. What's the topic, Song?
Do we overvalue ourselves?
Oh.
Do we or don't we?
Oh.
I don't think we value ourselves enough personally. That's my opinion. I don't think we put enough value on the self. We're basically told how to think, how to react. We don't put enough value on our own individual self-thought. And most people, after a certain time have been beaten down by life and they're just trying to survive. A lot of people are just existing, trying to make it, trying to maintain, trying to hold on, keep their sanity. Like they said, keep your head above water, and you're just trying to live each day. So, and there, of course, there are people who overvalue themselves and think they are bigger than they are and better than they are. But in my own sensibility, I feel as most people don't value themselves because they rely on systems that don't allow you to value yourself.
Yeah, my take on that, I think people do overvalue themselves in a way. Where I'm going with I don't know, she might have come from a different place with that, but where I'm going with it is sometimes people, it's like you might be at a job and you think you got passed over for a promotion. Like, hey, I've been here 12 years, but they keep passing me over for this promotion. And you might think you're more value to the company than you are. You probably never went and got more training. Sometimes, like when you're at a company or something and you think just being there makes you valuable, you think I'm loyal because you show up every day. So does the rest of the people. A lot of the rest of the people, they show up every day and come to work and just do the minimum. You have to do more than the minimum to be a value and to be an asset of anything. So I don't, I think someone was probably talking about more of a self-worth value. And she, like, I can't say what she meant by it. Only she knows. But what I'm saying, people get out here in the world and they think they're this and they think they're high above, and just you're doing the minimum. Like, you don't train, you don't put the proper work into yourself, you don't keep enhancing yourself, your skills, you don't build yourself, you don't set the building blocks to keep going up higher and higher and higher. And it's like in a relationship or anything. If you just get in a relationship and you get complacent and stale, that relationship going to be complete. It's not going to go nowhere. It's going to be complacent and stale. But then you have to have the building blocks to keep making it grow and grow and grow. So sometimes, and then when it's time and somebody wake up one day and be like, hey, this is not working for me. First thing one person from either side probably say like, oh, she took me for granted, or she didn't respect everything I did, or whatever. And or vice versa. The female be like, oh, I remember, was it Waiting to Exhale? She was talking about how long she was with dude. He cheated on her and everything. And he's a jerk or anything, but the main thing she said about was the time she spent with him, the time you put in. The time is kind of like normal. You're gonna be there, and if you're not leaving, time goes on. If you feel like you was unhappy, then time will end. So that's up to you. That's a relationship part of it. But in life, it's like friendship. Friendship, and the value of friendship. People think they're great friends, and just because I have friends that I'm friends with, because of time. Like we grew up together, but we're not really that close. But he's an old friend, Then I have a friend that I might not know as long. It's really like my really good friend because of the bond and how we treat each other in the relationship and how we like actually, want to be a good friend. Some people just want to be there. They just want to show up, and it's fine. It's fine, but don't think you more than you are. Not. That's how I feel about it. What you got? You got anything more to say about it?
Geez, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like most people just don't overvalue anything. Today, people are real quick to throw away friendships. People are real quick to just discard things because they don't value them. They don't. Like, people don't consider other people's feelings. They don't value much. Like, there's an overbearing sense of individuality and me. And there's never any, in my experience or just in my observation, people don't value things enough. People don't value relationships. They don't value the people in their lives. They don't overvalue them. They take things for granted. They don't consider another person's feelings. It's always me, I. And, you're just supposed to just do whatever. Like, there's a complete lack of consideration and thoughtfulness or just thought, period. Because in my opinion, people don't overvalue themselves. Yeah, you can think you're a better asset to a job than you might be. Hell, I thought I was a great asset to one of my last jobs, and evidently I wasn't because I'm not there. So you just never know. Like, I thought that based on my experience and what I was being told is that I was outperforming the person who I replaced. So yes, I thought I was an asset, and that evidently wasn't the case. So again, yeah, you can overvalue yourself, or you could think you're overvalued or something along those terms. But overall, in my opinion, I don't think we value things enough. We don't value people enough. We don't value, we just don't. Everything around us is all about being an individual, not being of service and not giving a damn. It's like we was talking the other day. All of these singers, rappers, artists constantly tell you, be a bad bitch, be out there, sell your drugs, you don't need these bitches, and these N-words don't get no ass if they not giving up the dough and this, that, and the third. So essentially, again, you've brought nothing to the table except either a few dollars or some ass, and you think that that's considered valuable, and it's not. I don't think we value things enough.
That's the overvalue. If you think your cooch is that valuable, that's the overvalue right there. That's where you overvalue. That's what I'm talking about. People overvalue themselves. Like, everybody, if you want to talk about hip hop, like all these women, they're talking about how good it is and how wet it is. Like, you're overvalued. Who told you that? Like, you're overvaluing. What is your trade? Did you do a survey of 10? Because now you're wilding. You did 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20 told you, like, yo, this is banging. Yo, girl, this thing is water. That's a lot of service out there, and you might have something to go off of. But hey, I don't know if I want to take that test. But everybody's out here creating fake narratives, and that's like the overvalue right there, because there really is no value there. These pictures on Instagram, on Facebook, these memes, all of this, there's no value there. It's all lies. And you could be overvaluing yourself based off of that. Because people liking you, and now you start thinking like, oh man, I'm lit. You're really not lit. Like, you're really not lit because you really don't have anything of value. You're not an asset. You have no assets. And you're running around like it's all good. But then when you're alone, it's not all good. And you have no value. And nobody care to keep you around. If you're not an asset, people ain't going to keep you around. People ain't going to fight for you. Even in friendships, sometimes you got to ask yourself, I want to be a good friend. Tell me if I'm being a bad friend. Maybe when the last time you ever asked somebody like, yo, how am I doing as a friend? And be able to take the criticism. Like, well, yo, dude, you don't never show up. Blah, blah, blah. Yo, this and that and the third. And you might be like, whoa, I got to change some things. If you care about that friendship and you value that friendship, or even in your relationship. Hey, babe, how am I doing? How am I doing in this relationship? Well, maybe you should be doing this and that. We lacking in this department. Those are building blocks. Can't take it to heart and get your feelings hurt, but those are some good building blocks. You ask the question. Remember they used to say in school, there's no stupid question. There's no stupid question. The only thing is stupid is the question that you don't ask. So how would you know? So, because people gonna toot their own horn more. So, and you can't claim you're the man. Your peers have to make you that. They have to give you that claim. Like the people that you affect is gonna be like, yo, the people that you're constantly around. I ain't talking about these Facebook friends. I'm talking about the real people that you're around. They're gonna be like, yo, they're gonna say it sounds around everybody else. Yo, what's her name's a cool dude. So she's like, yo, she's mad fun. Call her to the party. She asked it, like, call her to the party. She's mad going. You know, she brings joy. She smiles. She got a nice, like stuff like that. It's little things like that. That people gonna be like, they want you at certain things or for you to do certain things. So that's how you know when your peers put you, like anybody could proclaim, hey, I'm a, and this is what's going on in the world. Say, hey, I'm the king. You're a king with no castle, with no nothing. I'm just a king. You just throwing that around real lightly. I'm a queen, but you ain't doing queen stuff. You ain't doing king stuff. I'm a king. I'm a queen. Like, what is that? That's a lot of overvalue to me. That's just me. That's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. I could be wrong, So you have anything? You want to elaborate? You have anything else on this? This was just like a short, we was talking about this and we was like, hey, let's just make this a nice little segment. So,
I like the idea of especially Black people referring to themselves as king and queen. I like it. It's better than N-word, B words, H words, and all of that. I actually like that. Words have power, and even if you have no kingdom or empire, it's still it's still an endearing term that's better than my nigga and what up, bitch, and all that.
King, they're about to be like, let me hold something.
Yeah, sometimes and sometimes not, but I like that. That's just me though. I like it. And I think overall, if we held relationships and people in our lives more valuable and we thought higher of ourselves, we would be a lot better off. And I'm not talking about superficially. I mean, really the actual value of the self, your being grateful for who you are, what you have, everything you have, even if it's a little bit, even if it's a lot, being grateful, being thoughtful, being considerate, being of service, being kind, it's like the same thing, just an example with this podcast. All of my friends and family, I had one person share this podcast. Not any of my closest relatives or closest friends shared this podcast, but the one homie that did, I want to give a shout out to my girl Kim and to Newbie the Ear Hustler. Follow her on Instagram for awesome interviews of hip hop legends from the 80s and 90s. Follow at Newbie the Ear Hustler. Shout out to her and Weekly Rap Gods on Instagram because again, I feel like that's someone who actually values her relationships and friendships. So she did something thoughtful and kind without having to be asked. And that's the kind of person I value. I value someone who doesn't need to be told how to be a friend. They just are out of the pure goodness of themselves. I think if we were a little bit more pure and thoughtful and considerate and not so stuck on individuality, that, yeah, we could start to value ourselves in a way that's not superficial. Because the way that we overvalue ourselves now is totally superficial. Everybody wants to be an Instagram star, influencer, a social media star. Everybody lies on social media. They pretend to be what they're not. People with whole families, lives, relationships on social media pretend to be single. And then when they get called out for it, it's like, oh, nah, I was just. And, when you're like, oh, but you're not an influencer, it's like, oh, but I have, 70,000 followers. You're not making any money from it. Yeah, people follow you, but what is the end goal there? We put value on things that are superficial rather than things that are actually valuable. That's why I say we really don't overvalue ourselves because the things that we do overvalue is straight up crap. It's bullshit. But,
We're going to end that with some things we don't overvalue ourselves, and I think